Oh yeah, it feels good to be back. Hi chat, how's it going? I'm not fucking up another introduction. I'm not muted for another fucking introduction. We're all good. I'm a big creator now, chat. I'm a big guy. In a getting smaller and smaller pond, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big fucking bird around here. Big things are happening. And I can't be fucking up intros like that anymore. I'm a big content creator. That means I probably need to watch what I say a little bit more closely, you know? We're moving out of the beginning stages and moving into something bigger. I can't be as loose-lipped as I was formerly. I've uh I've got to be careful, and that's why today we're going to be reviewing one of my newest favorite pieces of media, which has to do with mass casualty events. Woo! Yippee! Yay! I love that. I don't, but I love media about them, is what I actually was gonna say. Okay, alright. Let's get the announcements running. That's the intro bit. Hi chat. How's it going? Happy Saturday. We're gonna bring up the announcements. We're live. What is this? Like a media digest? Yeah, it is. Yeah. I also need to put big spoiler letters at the top of the screen. Don't worry about the bees. They're raging out. It's welcome to my lovely flat in Mykonos, where everyone is raging until 4 a.m. Look at the bees go. Look at them rage out. Major yapping. By the way, if like nobody calls in, then I think that sort of just proves you're wrong, Jachet. I'm not sure if I pronounced your name right, but if nobody calls in, I'm pretty sure that just disproves your entire theory that people want to debate me. I don't think people do want to debate me. I think they're probably scared, or they probably don't think it's worth their time. Like, they just don't think they're going to convince me. And if that's the sort of person, I would prefer that second sort of person over the other. Bugonia. We're not doing Bugonia. How the fuck? Oh, I put an IRA in it. There we go. This might be such a big yap. Diz Ek. Okay, that's not bad, actually. Diz Ek. This might be such a serious yapping stream that I pull out the Photoshop. I might be what is it? I'll be doing both the anamnestizing and the hypomonestizing. That's what we're getting into. You got an accent on the ek. On the ick? Yeah, you want a little bit of an accent on the ick? Fine by me. Where is it? Here we go. Paste. Not there. Where's this shitty place? Oh, yes. One of the best places on the internet. Any other places on the internet which are lovely? Oh, this is a lovely place on the internet. Let's see. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay. We're fully marketed. We're up and marketable and running. Oi, oi, oi. Okay. We gotta pull up a couple of things. Maybe I need a... What I really wanted to do was I wanted to stretch Photoshop over this TV that's immediately to my right. But I needed to download StreamFX in order to distort and contour things. But apparently it's gone from open source to a digital fiefdom, the classic. And now it's behind a Patreon wall. Would I consider subscribing to their Patreon? I'm not sure. I actually don't know how much it is. I should look into that. StreamFX Patreon. If it's like $5 and I can like download whatever the newest version, then sure, whatever, fine. Link your Discord and Patreon account. That's what needs to happen. Ay. Or maybe this one is free and I just need to log in. Okay, that's something to do for another stream. How many? Plenty of. It's tons. There's so many people in the YouTube chat. Hi Vlexer, how's it going? Nice to see you. I'm not a... Where the fuck did you get tomato? I'm not a... The thumbnail looks nothing like a tomato. Do you not see the wings and the fingies? My god. Plenty. Plenty of viewers on the YT. Alright, we can do the stream FX another time. I've got Streamlabs up. Hopefully, this might be the very first time in my stream's history, in the history of the entire market, that we may have audio for alerts coming into me so that I know when they happen, and also that they happen live. That would be incredible. If we can make both of those things happen, that would be amazing. Let's get Photoshop up. We're doing, that's right, we are doing the writing, the yapping. Let's see if I can. I've swapped up my OBS display. Nothing like a little time away from home to help you understand how things really need to be organized. Yeah, we can do automatic. Whoa, not that. Here we go. Ooh. And then let's bring this down. Am I just gonna make it? I guess I am. You guys don't need to see my tools. Nothing like that. Bring this down. And I do wish I had the skew. I wish I had the contour, but we're just gonna have to fucking deal with it in the meantime. Let's put it behind me and in front of the Fugies. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright, we got Photoshop open. There it is. Hey presto! Take a look. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, that's not the... Bam, 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 bam. That's right. That's where it is. Alright. Chat. I am sorry that I left you for a week without stream. I ran a poll. Maybe I'll have something prepared in case this happens again. And today's going to be a relatively early stream. Short stream. Because I've got shit to do. In like 2.5 hours. I also can't yap for that long without somebody coming in to try and argue with me. It'll happen though. Because surely I'm wrong, right? Surely I'm wrong and everybody knows that I'm wrong. I'm not called Dispel for nothing. I'm never deliberately wrong. Anyways, I'm sorry I left you guys in the dust for Saturday. An entire Saturday without content. I ran a poll. I wanted to see what people might be interested in. Actually, a surprising amount of you were like, bro, you just take a chill, like it's alright. No need to bug out about it. This stream though, I can't tell you how much it feels good to genuinely be back from vacation. Although it was nice to go on vacation. I didn't have a winter break. It is what it is. It sucks. It's just part of the career that I do. It's just part of life. I'm bugging out a little bit. These fucking bees are kind of freaking me out. They just like will not stop moving and dancing and squirming. And for what? Like for no profit incentive. These bees are just moving and dancing all for just for the pure sake of hierarchy. They're just like, yeah, this shit is awesome. I love my queen. I love my soldier bees. I love my grublets. I love my drone bees. I'm just gonna keep dancing, and that's cool. That's more than enough. But I'm not gonna tell you guys where I went for vacation. I don't want you guys to know how cool I actually am. And also because I don't think everything needs to be advertised. Some things, it's okay for them to be private. I don't need to show everybody how cool I am. Y'all already know. Y'all tune in. The 10 viewers across my 5 platforms on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, X.com, and I don't know, I guess Streamable as well. I'm not streaming there though. It's streamable, you should be able to stream on there. It's video streaming, whatever. No, I did not go on vacation to Israel, Mog. Thank you very much. No. Did not happen. I've heard not a great time of the year to be in Israel. Neither as a Jew or as a Christian, actually. Uh, Pretty much anybody. Like, not a great time of the year to be there. Maybe it's like a seasonal thing. Who knows? I did not go to the desert. I don't like the beach. I'm like Anakin Skywalker. He's literally me, by the way. I hate the beach. But I'll stay. Put your hands on my shoulder. Whatever the Arctic Monkeys lyrics are. No. Different environment. It's all good. But on the plane ride back, this was like a 12 or 10 hour flight in total. I got like maybe 3 hours of sleep, and then the meals came by, and I was like, all right, thank God, at least on like flights across the ponds, you still get meals. At least there's some dignity in Western civilization left, I guess. And after my meal, I watched Bugonia. Gilmore recommended I watch Bugonia. A couple of my family friends were recommending I watch Bugonia, and I was like, okay, yeah, fine, we can do that. It's convenient. It's here. It's alongside Despicable Me 2, The Rise of Gru. So I went with Bugonia, and it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be honest though, I felt like I predicted the ending, and I don't mean to say that in any sort of gratuitous sense. I think it was more like I understood the vibes of how the. See you later. Is that also deleted on YouTube? It's not. Motherfucker. See you later. I need to log into a social stream, I guess. Anyways, the movie was super good. I loved it. And I don't think it was just because there was a mass casualty event at the end. Spoilers. Heavy spoilers. Let's get that text going, like, now. Actually. No. No, stop. Tools, do I have to, I have to do a thing like this. Group image, isn't there like a text? Yes, there is. Text, spoilers. Here we go. For Caramel, you're not getting fucking child support out of me. Keep the fucking eggs in your nest. You dropped me in high school. Don't fucking come crawling back. Can I change the font, actually? Select font? Oh, I can. What are we doing? Oh, it doesn't have like a demo. It kind of does. Dubai? Medium? What does that look like? Not phenomenal. Really nothing spectacular. Insanely small. Can't see shit. Awful. Awful text. Where the fuck? Just give me, I don't know, Cambria or something. Calibri. Yeah, give me Calibri. That's fine. Why is it so fucking small? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Lord have mercy. They're not mine. I swear. Select font. Is 15 not big enough? What in the fuck? Why is this shit so low resolution? I cannot believe it. Alright, whatever. What is going on? It needs to be in like big red as well, doesn't it? Because y'all are blind. Not me though. I'm not blind at all. Why is this so low resolution? I cannot believe it. Do I just need to make it big? And then... That's fine. Yeah, whatever. There we go. Look how artsy-fartsy we are. Yippee, chat! And then where's the two? I mean, I guess we don't. If you're clicking on the stream, you would probably guess what the spoilers are for, right? My chatters would know, right? They're aware? My chatters don't ask stupid questions. Not that there are stupid questions, but they just don't ask them. Because they love me. There we go. How's that look? I think it looks great. And then if hold on, let's put this aside. I gotta arrange my physical shit. Oh, there we go. I'm getting out the pen and pad. By the way, if you guys are like in the waiting room, you're gonna have to leave a chat message because I don't have Discord open. I've got an entire monitor being taken up by writing application. Yippee! Alright, let's put this to the side, and then if I zoom in, you guys should see pretty much exactly what I see. Yes, you do. And I could make it smaller, but that's okay. Alright, we're doing the actual analysis now. It's time for the payoff. It's what you guys have been waiting for. It's what all the meandering, all the delay, it's what it's all been building up to. There we go, that works fine. Okay, so, I actually didn't finish entirely what happened on the plane. I watched Bugonia, it was awesome. We're going to dive into the analysis in just a moment. But I was left shook. I predicted the ending, which was that the lady actually was an alien. The entire thing, the schizophrenics were right. The conspiracist theory was correct. She was an alien, and that's the big payoff of the movie. Yippee! It's a fictional, movie. I felt like I got that. How it was gonna get there was also like great. That's where it really came in. This felt like a classic drama with 3 characters who are bouncing off of one each other, building drama and shit like that. Awesome payoff. Love the mass casualty event at the end of the movie. It's sort of saying like, humanity doesn't have a great relationship to commodities, its outside environment. There's something particularly cruel that's genetic and essential to humanity. And of course the schizophrenic conspiracy theorist is correct. It's a film, it's a fantasy film, or it's a fictional film, of course, all these things are correct. That was great. I was not expecting the midway point, which was the suicide. That was kind of out of fucking nowhere, and also just a perfect way to blow up the plot, literally and metaphorically. At the halfway point of the movie, generally you have an inversion in Act 2. Great stuff. But I watched Free Guy afterwards. Free Guy 2021. Maybe we should do a little bit of charity and say when these movies were made. Because I feel like with Free Guy, hindsight is 2020. I was not a huge fan, well, 2021 rather, I guess. Like this. I felt like, I liked Free Guy. It was kind of a cool movie. I know there were a couple of people who weren't excited by it, and I can definitely see those reasons why it wasn't exciting, but I thought this was a better Matrix, in all honesty. I thought this was better than the Matrix. It was very funny. And I think it was partly because Ryan Reynolds is just like, it's just, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds is what Jack Black was like 10 years ago, and like handsome. Without, the grotesque, like just a good looking guy, jovial, doing, cool action stunts in a video game with vague social commentary. It's like, it's great. It was a great slot film. I enjoyed it. And the reason that is better than The Matrix, I think, is because The Matrix, the threat to the idea of a simulation, yes, the idea of a threat to the simulation is coming from the outside of the simulation, or like the threat to our functioning normal reality is framed very differently in Free Guy than it is in Matrix. In the Matrix, biology is hooked up to machines to power them, and you're sort of born into it, you're cultivated, I guess you die in these pods as well. But in Free Guy, the allegory for like a normal life is, it's just an AI. What have I said that's blasphemous? Nothing that I've said is blasphemous. You're gonna have to substantiate that. Or you're gonna have to say like, hey, I'm in the waiting room, drag me in because you've said something blasphemous, and I don't think that's true at all. I've yet to. Because I'm explaining it. Like, I'm halfway through why it's better than The Matrix. With The Matrix, like the normal reality, I guess there's 2 normal realities in Free Guy. Because there's the biological normal reality where people go and work and do shit. But then they say that there's also another normal reality, sort of, which is the video game. There's two actually. So there's one which is I guess the flesh world. It's where love actually happens. Is actually sort of the lesson of the movie. Dijak, are you swearing? Don't. You're gonna have to use alternative methods. Look, this is not a free speech channel. You cannot just say whatever the fuck you want. You are gonna have to use creative alternatives. I'm sorry, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of censorship. Just finding creative ways to say other things. There's two real worlds, and then there's sort of like the quotidian, and by I guess like real worlds, I would say like quotidian. Is that appropriate? Is it appropriate to call? Oh yeah, links are not allowed. If you want to get me a link, send it in the Discord and at me. Links are certainly not allowed. A super easy way to filter out the bots. All they do is speak in links and hyperlinks. It's an approximate to like you get your paycheck. What is it? Twice weekly, twice monthly. Like that, yeah? Is this a fair description of like what a quotidian mirror of reality would look like, and then the fiction then develops on top of that? There's a flesh world, and then there's the NPC world. And the twist of the movie is that one of the plot of the movie is basically this evil, ambiguously ethnic guy with essentially the clothing tastes of a Pokimane villain, and none of the actual aesthetic sense of a JoJo villain. He's just evil for evil's sake, not just because for evil's sake, because he embodies a corporation. He embodies all the negative versions of capital, right? There's the only good billionaire is a Democrat billionaire. Is sort of the type of villain he is. But you can be like a tech bro billionaire and still be a Democrat, and that was a little shied from. But again, 2021 film. So the bad guy, I don't remember his name. I actually didn't care enough. So it's probably just good enough to call him bad guy because his role in the plot is just as meaningful as Free Guy. I mean, these are stand-ins for somebody else. They don't necessarily have deep motivations. They've got quirks to them. This is alright, but no. We're gonna take a listen. Analog Soul. Yeah. Oh, you hate The Matrix? Oh, you thought Free Guy 2021 was better than Matrix, what was it, 1999? Name every Agent Smith. Fuck. You got me. So, the antagonist... Oh my god, am I just gonna write antagonist, bad guy in the same fucking... I'm not gonna do that. Bad guy steals code from the protagonist. And allegedly steals it, actually, is what I would say. For their own big blockbuster MMO game. Actually, you know what the stream should have been? You know what? I might piss off too many of you if I say this like too early into the stream. I'm gonna wait for the faint of heart to die out before I give this take. Yes, it will be Hassan glazing. It will be a Hassan glazing take. Trigger warning. For their own blockbuster MMO. Let's see. Is there anything else relevant for this? No, that's the main point of contention. Because this code apparently literally can win a Nobel Prize. Literally Nobel Prize. Right? This is code that is actually incredibly emblematic of the Faustian spirit of humanity, the desire to create, the impressive collaboration between numbers, humanity, environment, machines. There's value to this code outside of just pure financial reasons, which is sort of what the bad guy emulates. And he doesn't care. The bad guy doesn't care about the code at all. He's just using the code to run the NPCs in his game, allegedly. And apparently the only proof that they can get of this is, one, the NPC Free Guy breaking out of his sort of quotidian loop, out of quote-unquote the Matrix, and into this sort of vast decision chain, which is totally real. There's so many different realities open to you at all times, chat. You just need to liberate your mind. Trust me. You just need to be like Free Guy. Like, if life is getting you down and feeling, you know, regular or quotidian, or like you're stagnant, you're not moving, all you need to do is just need to think like Free Guy. You're a free guy. And do like, literally like GTA 5 is essentially what the bad guy uses the code for. And I mean, it's an interesting, I guess, place to explore, because we I think it might be for the better of immersion games that they're integrated with AI, or like you use AI to give them lines. That could be decent. But actually getting an AI to track conversation and events and stuff like that, could be a cool creative project for people to interact with. But the idea is that actually this code literally makes like AGIs. And the lesson of the movie from the AGI, not only is AGI real. Hello? Where's my writing? There we go. Oh, there's a eraser. The code from the AGI, Free Guy, and he tells us he falls in love with the love interest of the guy who designed the code, who helped build the code as well. So there's this duo, male, female. The female got let off, and the male bit the bullet to go and work at the company that stole his code, and he's doing it fine, and it's okay. Unfortunately, his best friend is Indian and is evil until the very end, when he betrays the bad guy, because the bad guy is destroying all the physical servers to destroy the AGI. No, evil billionaire who wants to disrupt workers' unions. You can't destroy data centers. That's not good. We need to foster AGI. It's gonna give us so much. Potentially it will. Well, what did the AGI of this movie have to say? What were the lessons that we could learn? Be nice. Don't do violence. Sure, I like that. Non-aggression pact, I guess. We're bringing it back into the fucking AI. It's the great fucking black hole of philosophy. Just be nice. Nietzsche couldn't understand it. All these clowns, they didn't get it. Just be nice. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, AGI. What else does he have to say? Free Guy falls in love with the digital avatar of the girl who wrote the code. And at the end of the movie, he tells her, I think correctly, you shouldn't fall in love with a video game character. Even if I'm an AGI, you know, I'm almost like a real human being, and you've developed experiences, and you've pressed E to kiss with me and shared coconut ice cream or whatever the fuck it was on the Philadelphia boardwalk. Your man's is out in reality. It was the guy who made the code with. That was probably the sweetest thing about the movie. That was nice. That was cool. Sexuality is biological. Whoa, what the fuck? These are nice lessons. I like it. Oh, it was bubblegum. Of course you would fucking know this movie, like the backhand of your fucking cave walls, the shadows dancing on it. It's a nice lesson. What do we get though? All right, I'm going to my notes. I've laid out pretty much the plot of the movie. Have I? Yeah, he becomes sentient. He realizes everything is fake. They're trying to collect evidence that their code is actually in the game before the evil boss guy shuts it down. He doesn't care. He just cares about profit. He doesn't care about prestige. He just cares about value. There's a literal like line in the movie that's like, oh, what was it? I think I felt like I wrote it down. No, I didn't actually. I didn't write it down. I didn't write down the quote. I didn't actually. That's devastating. It would be weird to hook up with your creation. This is okay. This is relieving coming from you. Thank you very much, Zir. What's the formal version of a neopronoun? Zir. Zer. Thank you very much, Zerpod people, for telling us it would be weird to hook up with your creation, and also weird to frame it as biological. You want a free one where the robots hook up with the humans? No. This movie was too much of like a Redditor movie for that. I think you're looking for something that's like, oh, what was that fucking fish fucking movie that got a? No, I'm looking for the formal version of your neopronouns. You fucking idiot. That's actually the formal version of your neopronouns. Fucking idiot. There you go. FM? No, FI? Yeah, FI. Phi. You know how you got like Mr., Mrs., Ma'am? Yeah, yours is just Phi. Got him. Woo! This was a Redditor movie. This was a Redditor's version of the Matrix. It was sweet. The the Redditor portion. Yeah, The Shape of Water. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. We're not doing The Shape of Water. Hi, 2-Bit. It's a pleasure to have you. This was a Redditor movie. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody died. It felt like the stakes were never like under contest at all. Like oddly, like I feel like if the movie had shown us like in the physical world a homeless guy starving on the streets because he lost his job, then maybe we would feel bad for the main character for losing his cushy tech job. Maybe. Besides, I would say is the generally good messages that can be extracted out of it. Let's just get the Reddit bullshit out of the way. The entire like human population who plays the game are like hedonistic gooners, and you can say, oh yeah, I guess that's just the affordances of the game that was set up. That's just the GTA 5 making them hedonistic gooners who want to kill all NPCs and treat them poorly. The portion of like the post-humanism AI rights was probably the weakest, most cringe thing I've seen, and again, made in 2021. Verbatim, they were like, I think actually, I'm not sure if this was a genuine hashtag, because there's like social media is a thing. Twitch and YouTube actually make debuts. Like the actual platform makes a debut. It intrudes onto the film screen, exactly what you're looking at on Twitch and YouTube right now. It intrudes into the stream in a meta sense, and like, holy shit, they got some big names. They got Ninja commenting on the NPC violence. They got Pokimane commenting on NPC violence. They got Jacksepticeye commenting on NPC violence. And what's the conclusion? Hashtag maybe NPC rights do matter. And it's like, okay, Free Guy, the main guy, the only AGI to actually break out of his quotidian cycle and start committing heinous acts of kindness, starts making all these mainstream people go, hey, maybe we should say please and thank you to our LLMs. They might actually start to fuck us. Wait, never mind. They're doing the right thing and telling us to just fuck each other. Thank God. Bullet dodged. And there was another point in the movie where like all where the game was about to be shut down, just teetering on the edge of tension, I assure you, over whether who would win, the evil capitalists trying to extract value from AI while the underdog AI creators are desperately trying to work with the underprivileged NPCs who've been used and abused yet actually have sentience and just need to be woken up out of them. They basically you need to awaken class consciousness in the NPCs is what the movie says. And hold on. Effectively. And by class consciousness, it's just like, oh, you're an AI. But all of the NPCs had been deleted. And there were still players attempting to play the game. And so it was all of these violent gooners extracting their hedonistic desires by playing this Free Guy game. Shitting on NPCs, blowing up buildings, but the moments that there's no NPCs to shit on, they stop doing the violence. They don't really want to commit the violence against one another, they just want to do it against the NPCs. And the entire news media actually starts to cover this game like it's the Truman Show. Right? The Truman Show was genuinely, sociologically, the Truman Show in universe was a massive theater to broadcast to televisions across the world. In a very similar sense, this happens with Free Guy. And all the NPCs are gone, or they're off doing something. Free Guy, he gets his memory wiped, he gets awoken with a kiss, a digital kiss that wakes him back up. And he organizes all the NPCs to come together, to try and break them out of class consciousness, or out of their lumpen state. And literally, the news media covers this diegetically as, what if all the AIs went on strike? And that is the most like insane postmodern bullshit I've ever heard in my life. What if AIs go on strike? Do LLMs do labor? Do the people in the film do labor? Like, the programmers, the tech bros, do they do labor? They do coding. And I guess, theoretically, do NPCs do labor? Worth... The problem with this allegory, though, is not only are these false equivalences, but the idea of strikes, period. Strikes only work when there's no alternative for labor, or the specialty of your labor is so essential to the running the business that you can't have somebody else come in. You need the professional managerial class solidarity with the people actually doing the widgets, moving the items, the physical things like this. The bullshit. And in major companies, striking doesn't really work. Especially in like high turnover environments. They're kind of designed to be high turnover. The PMC are captured. The fucking McDonald's manager makes literally $100,000, $300,000 a year. That's a solid wage. That's a really solid wage. And everyone beneath that is in a very precarious position. I guess my disgust with this movie is the proletarian Twitch champagne socialist. Okay, hold on. No. I'm just gonna come out with it. People who say that they're socialists, people who are upset with the far left, don't understand how unpopular capitalism is right now. You just don't fucking understand how unpopular capitalism is broadly amongst like young people. And I think it's probably because you don't go outside and you don't talk to people. The closest piece of evidence, direct evidence that I can give you right now is during this recent Wiki panel, Kyla, Erudite, kept talking about exactly the same class of people that I'm referring to. These people, these Pokimanes, these Jacksepticeyes, these ninjas, these watchers, these tech bros, these wives of tech bros, these sorts of proletarian realist class that speak to this movie. These millennials, I guess. The millennial proletariat, I guess. Is that they're all like hot girls in San Francisco. I'm sorry. Like, socialism is just hot. You cannot be a hot woman and be against like socialism without coming off as reactionary and attract some of the most deranged audience. And I was a little concerned about Colin Knight. I was concerned about the sort of audience that I had cultivated. But I feel like you guys get the bit. Anyways, let's continue on. This movie was such an insane follow-up to like the Biden era identity politics, because multiple times they drop references like just woke performative references constantly. And that's not to say that there isn't value talking about it, but to me it makes clear that they're deliberately trying to make commentary about the real world because the division between the screen and the real world has blurred to such an extent they feel that they can get away with that and explicitly mention it. Meanwhile, I think Bugonia talks about very similar themes. Labor, hierarchies, rights, suppression, all these sorts of things. Desire, free will, agency, all of the same exact themes, but they don't, instead of directly commenting on reality because the screen and reality have fused, they maintain the frame that their media is fictional. That's what I like about Bugonia. I'm just going to write out my thesis of Bugonia. Where is it? Well, actually, hold on. Maybe it'll be better that we summarize Bugonia in a bit. This was the most millennial Redditor soy jack fucking film I could see in my life. And I liked it more than The Matrix. Maybe because I am secretly a Redditor. Millennial. There we go. Sorry. What is it? Soy cuck? Is soy cuck just like soy cuck? Yeah, okay. Honestly, like one of the most egregious examples was when she was trying to no, maybe it was he. The male coder who contributed to the AGI coding was trying to convince his coding fellow, or maybe it was the opposite actually. It is a comfort movie, you're right. It is a comfort movie, and I'm not going to say it's a bad comfort movie. It's a nice comfort movie. I felt like it was predictable. I felt like I knew what was always going to happen. There was going to be a good ending. Actually, the funniest fucking thing about this movie is for all the performative woke nonsense, including in this scene where one of them is trying to convince the other that actually the code worked. They did develop AGI. The manager for the GTA studios is evil and Indian and only value driven. They're like, wow, they wrote an entire like essay, an AI feminist theory on agency critical thought against abusive asshole AIs. There's like also references to like, you know, white guilt and racism and agency and all that sort of stuff. And for such a overtly commentating on reality woke movie, they still had the black guy die. The black guy was still the first guy to die. All holds barred, shutting down the servers. He needs to attack physically the servers in order to shut down AGI. This deranged, value-driven tech bro is shutting down AI, clamping it down, because that's certainly how these people think in Silicon Valley. These are congruent identities. Somebody who is anti-AGI and pro-value, certainly. That exists. Who is both, or I guess pro enslaving AGI is maybe a better way to say it. It is the spin of the movie, actually, I think. But they're anti-AGI and they're pro-value. Yeah, I just mean money. This person does not exist. And so we're only left with pretty much this. Oh, I guess they're enslaving AGI. They're keeping the people into their bubbles. The problem with all of these Matrix movies, and I think Bugonia also, this criticism should be shared with Bugonia, but I think it falls on flat ears, I think. Just because of the different sort of nature of the movie, the different nature of the plot, different treatment of fantasy. Even if you recognize the mechanisms of coercion, of enslavement, of media reality manipulation, that doesn't mean you're free of it. Like, you don't just put on glasses and see through reality anymore. No, you still have to deal with reality. And it is, like, in fact, the same reality other people have to share. And the sins of streaming, of flesh streaming, the sins of the modern mainstream media complex is that it just makes you anxious about things that you've got absolutely no control over. Is it useful to be informed or to understand them? Yeah, sure, 100%. But you're not going to be able to contest me when I say, yeah, the news is incredibly anxiety-inducing, stressful. People shouldn't be expected to constantly be updated and have a take. Fucking annoying. See, that's why people don't want to debate me. Because I berate them for asking me something instead of actually debating the topic. Or I'm too disingenuous. I'm not disingenuous. Chat, am I disingenuous? Don't be disingenuous with me, otherwise I ban you. Anyways, are we done? Are we done with Free Guy? I don't think I need to belabor the point of how much a Redditor millennial soy-cucked movie this was. But while the main billionaire anti-AGI guy is physically smashing up the servers to the platform in order to prevent the release of the reality of the AGI code or whatever, even though everybody can see Free Guy already. They've been watching him for like a month or two already. He releases a corporatized second version of Free Guy. A better one, a more macho, a more slopified. Everything, all of your frustrations with capitalism, the alienation of humanity, the slopification, the laziness, the indifference, the obsolescence, all your resentment is channeled into, well, poor people were just doing it poorly. Which is real, that's true, but not something that I really want to see from my media. And so they got this big, dumb, his literal catchphrase. He's Ryan Reynolds, but yoked to all hell, stupid as a brick, and he's gonna rip apart Ryan Reynolds and save the second version of the game and save Capital. He literally, the turning point is when Ryan Reynolds pulls out a fucking Marvel shield. And they literally do the fucking do-do-do-do. Oh my god. Like, genuine fucking soy boy chills. Genuine soy boy chills, you know? And then literally 30 seconds after, they pull out a lightsaber and play whatever's the most recent, like, Disney fucking catchy rendition of the Star Wars theme. And then the black guy dies. Of course, he's resurrected in the end in literal paradise, where the second game is developed grassroots, without dark money, without venture tech. It's just two people, the internet, three people, couple of servers, an apartment in New York, and a immensely expansive alternate reality that anybody can access and play with. Fantasy, I guess, maybe. But it's still fiction. It's still a fiction movie. Let's see. Yeah, so Free Guy has to run across a bridge in order to, I guess, prove to the world that some of the code was stolen. Why everybody is in tune with it, fine, whatever. But everybody also celebrates when he reaches it, sure, fine. It felt empty, I'm going to be honest. Like, I didn't really care that he reached it. It was like, why are these people celebrating? I don't know. I don't care. I don't know why they care. And the funny thing is, it's literally communism. They literally established communism in their new paradise utopia with dinosaurs walking the streets and bullshit flying overhead. It's like green futurism. Not like eco-punk. It's solar punk, but instead of technology, it's like digitally reanimated dinosaurs instead of flying cars, pretty much, is the communism that they develop. And the black guy, the only guy to die in the film, gets resurrected, and they're like, oh, what am I gonna do for a job? What am I gonna do for work? And Free Guy, Ryan Reynolds, is like, there's no banks in heaven. Yeah! Let's fucking go! There's no banks in communism. You don't have to work. This movie has a complicated relationship to work. It has a really sloppy relationship to work. Maybe that's the real like fantasy of the film that I'm rejecting. Because the frame of Bugonia is always within a fiction. There's a conspiracy theorist. The conspiracy theorist thinks there's aliens and kidnaps somebody out of this conspiracy. It's all well within the realm of delusion. And it only like teases sort of glimpses at reality diegetically. How normal is their reality? How normal do the characters of the film think our reality is? Is the cool thing about Bugonia. With this, everybody sort of understands the true nature of their reality at a certain point. And there's a happy ending. The AIs go on strike. All the NPCs have their class consciousness awoken. The evil, wasteful, slanderous, enslaving AGIs are... One of them is repelled, and we have communism in a virtual world, I guess. Don't worry about material subsistence, surplus value, extraction. Just stop getting extracted, bro. Enjoy things. Just stop getting gooned. Stop getting gooned by capitalists, by the bourgeois, bro. Just awaken your class consciousness. All right, let me review my notes for this movie. I think I'm done with it. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I would say that this movie, if this is a comfort movie for you, you're probably evil. Because the film does just uncritically gas up not only feminism, but also like the technology version of feminism. Like femininity is sort of the driving agent in the entire film. It's the AI's sexual attraction that breaks him out of the quotidian. It's the female sort of ability to create life that is generating the drama in this film, which is a real drama. It's cool. There's definitely ways to do it, but this was, for 2026, maybe not the best one anymore. There's better commentary out there, I guess. And honestly, the most unrealistic thing about the movie was just that... the idea of gamers going outside was actually the most unrealistic thing about Free Guy. That was the most reality-breaking plot hole. Gamers don't go outside. They stay inside. They game. They don't fall in love. None of that. They don't fall in love with their AGI and their fake boyfriends. That just doesn't happen. It's fake. All right, we're gonna move on to Bugonia, but I want to have faces to the characters because I actually cared about them. While we're writing, I want to have the characters up. Where are we? Emma Stone, by the way, needs to like set the bar a little bit lower for everybody else when it comes to acting. Just too fucking goated. Sorry, just too fucking goated. I need an actual screen grab where all three of the characters like not whatever. Fine, this is a fine one. I'm just gonna use this image. That's fine. From the Seattle Times. Oh, how fate has drawn me back to the epicenter of millennial woke bullshit. Oh, how cruel a fate I suffer. Here we go. Let's move this over. No, it's not empty. Just move this over. Just a little twinge there. Alrighty. Wow. We're moving on to the meat and potatoes. Okay. Major spoilers for Bugonia. We have three main characters, and I think that's one of the strengths of the film. We have Teddy. I don't want to write on this layer anymore. I want to write on this layer. We have Teddy. Where's my writing utensil? Hello? Why am I not writing? Am I not connected anymore? Oh, brother. Uh-huh. Where the fuck is my fucking writing brush? I can't write. Hello? Nothing is locked. This is empty? I could... I feel like I can't like interact with anything on Photoshop anymore. What the oh, it's because I selected this. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. I'm not incompetent. I'm not inept. Chat, please, believe me. Okay, serious media analysis time. All right, we've got three characters. Not this fucking one. This. Here, we can do this. We've got Teddy. And I think these three characters line up to what we were talking about, not last Saturday, because, again, I wasn't here. You guys weren't here, sadly. But what we talked about... if I move this... Oh, I can move it. And can I readjust the size slightly? Oops. Please? Please don't suicide? It's okay, it's fine. Look. Don't fucking secondhand embarrassment me. No. We're serious. These three characters, I think, emulate at the very beginning, very much so, the model that we had going on in a former stream. The schizo, the psycho, and the NPC cycle of violence, I guess. This one is too much. We're just gonna do it the schizo psycho. Ted is the schizo character. That's who he is. That's who he is shilled as. He matches all the descriptions of what we would say a schizo is. Violent, conspiratorial. Can we say intelligent? Sure, we can do it. Rational, maybe? Beyond rational? We'll say intelligent. Suspicious. Let's just say suspicious. How about that? Whatever, fine. We'll do a slash. We'll be amenable. As in, not he as a person. Well, okay, he as a person is suspicious because he kidnapped this nice lady right here. That's Michelle Fuller. played by Emma Stone. She did a phenomenal job. Literally just awesome shit. What else do you need to be a schizo? He's sort of like the main character-ish. Most of our coverage of the schizo archetype, at best, the media that covered the schizo, psycho, NPC war, at best, the people that manufacturing it were glazing how awesome schizos are and how nice control of reality they have. The best of them all were saying, okay, well, there's a little bit of a gray area in between the versions. That's fine. That makes sense. Hold on. It hasn't shot the bed yet. That's okay. Maybe we put you guys here. I put chat there. He kidnaps her under suspicion that she is an alien, and he needs to get her, coerce her into brokering proof to the aliens that humanity is not something to be subjugated. So he believes humanity is being subjugated by an alien entity. Which, damn, kind of similar to the way some of these Landians talk about fucking capitalism. Really just unsettling. How the fuck do you spell believe? What in the hell? There we go, fine, whatever. Is it fair to say goy-cattling? Goy-cattling humanity? They're looking for someone to blame for all the ills in the world. I actually wrote down scenes and quotes from the film. Teddy directly says to this character here, who is, what's his name? His name is Don. Don is probably an NPC. That's probably the role that he most accurately fits into, I would say. And that might be a little rude. It's not nice to be called an NPC, but he is just like a really docile, chill guy that goes with whatever Teddy wants. And in all honesty, to the point of gaslighting and abusing Don. It's actually the schizo that abuses the NPC. In all reality, from an objective human standpoint, Teddy abuses Don. If we were to take the schizo NPC sort of diegetic motivations of the film, Teddy is correct. Actually, the aliens are goy-cattling humanity. This is accurate. This here is accurate. He's trying to help and foster the NPCs into realizing. He's trying to awaken class consciousness in the NPC. But he's actually getting abused by the schizo. He's... At the very beginning of the film, in front of a fire, Teddy explains that, he says, quote, "They fucked your consciousness. Don't apologize. It's not your fault." And Don apologizing to Teddy is a very common scene in the film. And the way that Teddy responds to each apology is also very interesting and very telling. If it benefits Teddy to say, hey, it's not your fault. You need to blame somebody else other than yourself. You should do that. Don't blame yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. But other times he's very permissive, especially when Teddy makes like a good point, or when Don makes a good point and Teddy wants to shut it down. You're not thinking right. Yes, you should feel sorry for making such a stupid point. Like that. Teddy essentially says, hey, before we prepare to abduct this powerful alien life form, we need to train our mind and our body to be able to resist all of their psychic manipulation powers. And Teddy convinces Dawn to sterilize himself. And Teddy does as well. So that they reject urges. But Dawn actually makes it pretty clear that he just wants to be with somebody. He's kind of just a chill guy who wants to have a woman tell him what to do, what to wear in the morning. He wants to have a chill job. He just wants things to work out for people around him to be happy. That's what he loves. And he gives up a lot in order to make the people around him happy. And that makes him suicidal. He wants to leave. It's not suicidal. He gets depressed, and Teddy dismisses that depression as like, oh, it'll pass. And yeah, that is generally what happens. Depression does pass, but what if it doesn't? And Dawn, his actual interest after sterilization took his, I just want to be with somebody. He just wants a honey, pretty much. After sterilization took that from him, he wanted to go and see other worlds. He wanted to leave Earth. Ideally with Teddy. And he didn't want to return. He was done with it. He was actually like sick of it. And it's because, well, Teddy had convinced him that humanity had been robbed of agency. With radicalized extremist movements like this, there is an obviously with most like extremist reactionary ideology that that can also critically assess the structures that currently exist, but also form a positive framework for how to look at it, how to interpret events. There's these contradictions between the enemy is incredibly weak and the enemy is incredibly strong simultaneously. It's picky, it's choosy, but it also robs you of agency. If the enemy truly is extremely strong and extremely capable, then why do I even bother? Just let me do my thing. And in fact, Dawn's ideology is kind of vindicated in the film. Teddy, after kidnapping our last character, goes to work, and he essentially works in an Amazon fulfillment center. And there's like 2 scenes of him at work, engaging with coworkers. The first, he's packing packages, scanning them, and his coworker, who is a sort of like older black woman, heavyset, has a arm brace on, and she's complaining about how her arm hurts. And Teddy's insisting, okay, well, you should submit a filing to NLRB. That'll fix things. That'll get things done. You know, you need to go through the proper processes, the proper institutions. But he's not someone that trusts institutions. Simultaneously, he is somebody who will tell Teddy, trust me, bro. I've done my research. Simultaneously. And at the packaging facility, this injured woman who is weighing what it could mean to submit a report like this, Teddy goes, well, it's their machinery that damaged you, and it's their quotas that they're preventing, that you're not able to fulfill. That's a labor violation. And it's like, yeah, but like, what's gonna happen? And she says, she fucking dissects him. She says, I just don't want any trouble. I just don't want any trouble. It's so good. This is like, and it's a valid position in all honesty. It's a Apollonian position. Go along with the vibes. And that's okay, that's fine. But Teddy abuses and sort of keeps him inside his very own prison, thinking there's this vast conspiracy. He's the actual expert you should trust. He's the authoritative institution. And there is like a coy sort of couple of moments in the film where Michelle says, "Well, I want to I want to commend you two on your organization. I'd like to know more about your movement." And Teddy goes, "Well, it's not a movement. I did all of this myself, of course, with my peer Don, as sort of a side thought." Teddy's very manipulative, very manipulative. Probably the evilest character here in all reality. He is the trustworthy institution. And the interesting thing is, he's the correct one. And the joy of the movie was finding out what he was correct on and what he was not correct on. Which details get delivered on which and which do not. All right, finally, we've got our Andromedon. Michelle Fuller, CEO. She is an alien. And the reasons that we Don is also actually quite Don has a couple of very intelligent and suspicious moments. He actually asks very good questions. He questions Teddy very frequently, but Teddy sort of dismisses it or says, "I'm the institution." So I need to put that. And he also points out the flaws in Teddy's arguments. And he's got this weird relationship where he doesn't want to leave Earth without Teddy, but he also loves Teddy and wants to see him happy, but Teddy is also the thing keeping him repressed. I think it's also very ironic they named the alleged schizo character after another schizophrenic who had mass criticisms of industrial technology and its effect on human society. Very strange. Michelle Fuller, she's a girl boss. She's awesome. She is also genuinely an Andromedon with a different biology. Allegedly, apparently. Her opening scenes were so good. Her opening scenes were so good. She's a psycho, essentially. In the psycho-schizo war, she's essentially a psycho. She's the one who's pulling the strings behind reality, allegedly. She's the one that's poisoning the bees. Running genetic experiments on humanity. Okay. And pretty much throughout the movie, it is a little it's challenging to know whether or not to what extent Teddy is right. Maybe she is the alien, maybe somebody else is the alien, but it's a movie. The premise, the drama is going to be coming from whether or not the aliens are real. So I think throughout the movie, I knew that the aliens were real. It's sort of the conceit. You need it in order to continue the story with a certain amount of quality momentum, I think. In order to build a internal fictionalized construct of dramatized construct of a reality to then reflect with our reality. Let's see, what else do we have on Michelle Fuller? She does genuinely care about, so not only is she genuinely instrumentalizing humanity, but she seems to genuinely care about it. She seems to be exactly the opposite of the villain from Free Guy. Somebody who doesn't care about the intangible, about doing something broadly good. She does actually want to see a productive end to humanity. She's actually trying to fix humanity in a way. And that's revealed in a monologue towards the end of the movie. But for a long time, we're sort of questioning whether or not she actually is this world-spanning globalist psycho instrumentalizing humanity. And throughout the movie, we learn that, yeah, she likes it. She's okay with it. She is genuinely instrumentalizing humanity. And very much so the bee allegory. Sort of like... is mirrored to CEO and I guess like the masses. These two are mirrored against each other, and she's the queen. She's the organizer. The implication of like the starting sequence is that if the queen dies, all of humanity dies, or like the colony goes crazy. And so one of, I think, the coolest scenes in the movie was a confrontation of Teddy's on the grounds of facts and evidence, because the same mechanisms of truth and consensus building Teddy distrusts on a mass scale, these same instruments of maintaining that he applies to Dawn. And I think she sort of sees that. After he's done shocking her, essentially the movie goes, Teddy's not sure if she's actually an alien, and so he decides to hook her up to an electric chair and sends 500 volts through her skull. Of course, he gagged her, put a towel in her mouth, but he shocks her into bleeding from her mouth, and he's like, oh, these results are incredible. Not only are you an Andromedon, it's confirmed because of whatever the resistance of your skin, but you must have a royal Andromedon lineage because you were able to take so many volts of electricity. So in the sort of the, maybe we should do like a timeline of the movie. I love timelines, you know me. Maybe this is the end. Maybe like... here we can do like the midway. At the midway, or before the midway, Teddy confirms internally. And he apologizes. He has the fucking audacity to be like, I'm so sorry. This will never happen again. You know, if I had known, things would have been different. I'm so sorry. And immediately after, they flash back to a scene in front of a large building with a woman in a wheelchair, Teddy, younger, standing by the wheelchair, younger, somehow angstier. And he's talking to Michelle Fuller, who has a team of PMC behind her. She's got an epic PMC corporatist cloak around her shoulders. And she's saying, I'm so sorry this happened. We never expected this treatment to have these sort of side effects. She was his mother was part of one of the genetic experiments on humanity, and it didn't go well. So they've been keeping his mother on stasis for a while. And she figures out that this probably motivated Teddy to go and kidnap her, to actually do something about this. And so she's like, okay, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Money, prestige, something else? And no, he's bought into it. He wants an intercession between him and the aliens. But actually, not quite. Despite all the schizo, I think for the average person who's familiar with the idea of, oh, being schizophrenic to move beyond capitalism, consumer society as schizophrenic, the idea is that you're beyond Oedipalization, but no. Teddy, he sterilized himself and he sterilized Don in order to, quote unquote, beat his Oedipal urges, his attractions to the female gender so that he could complete something big, something Faustian. But in reality, he's just as Oedipalized as ever. Michelle gives him the opportunity to allegedly save his mother, who's on dialysis from these genetic experiments. And he bends over fucking backwards to rush over to the hospital and administer it. He's Oedipalized. He's just Oedipalized through and through. He's so Oedipalized, he actually just kills his own mother. And that sends him into grief. And that's sort of like, I think internally it kills his motivation in order to pursue how valuable... At the point where he kills his mother, it doesn't matter if the aliens are dead or alive or real, or whether or not Michelle Fuller is just playing into his delusions for freedom to get him in front of the police so that she can be in an ambulance and finally live, or it's actually true that the aliens are real. And he tries to apologize. The clip after is, I'm so sorry, there's no room for apologies. This doesn't go away, is actually what she says. She says, this doesn't go away. We're going to do better, maybe do better. We're just so sorry. And this is while his floating mother starts to, like, pull away as if she were a balloon. She's very, very PMC coded. She's got all of, like, the manipulative PMC lines. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Can we just have a little bit of discussion? In fact, her introductory sequence is a very sort of neoliberal, choke you with kindness sort of introduction, where she as the CEO of the company wants to disseminate a new policy around the office saying, hey, everyone is free to leave at 5:30, no pressure, no more unpleasant incidents, is what she says. We're trying to run a business, and we are running quotas, so even if you're free to leave at 5:30, you should do what's best for you, and if you've got work, you should stick around and complete that work, but, you know, no rush. If you're free to do it. That's where the sort of her introduction to the idea of freedom starts to play in. She's very much so bought into what we would call the psycho version of capitalism, where everybody is free to do as they want, but we're just going to sweep under the rug all of these unsavory, unegalitarian corners of capitalism, accumulation, this sort of thing. It's a little hard to say, like, this is just directly a capitalist allegory rather than a criticism of nature. And the two are sort of blended together for the purposes of the film. It's tough, but she's a very PMC character. And she says to him, this will never go away, after she electrocutes him. And that's sort of the idea is, well, she probably won't forget this. Being tortured as a royal alien probably is not a good thing, not enjoyable. And so afterwards, he wants to apologize. They have dinner together. Whoops. They have, like, a nice family dinner where Teddy is actually on the long end of the table as if he's the kid. He's always treated like the kid by Teddy, or Don is treated like the kid by Teddy. Teddy is at the head of the table. Michelle at the other head of the table. King, wife, sort of addressing each other with their child's unfortunate cousin that he's dragging along for all of these events. And they have a nice dinner. They get to a little bit about... She starts insisting that all of this kidnapping is because of his mother. He is Oedipalized, in fact. And he's insisting, no, I'm not Oedipalized. No, I'm not Oedipalized. We find out later that that is definitely the case. He just wants to do it for the good of humanity. He says, I've gone through 99.9% of the activism. Oh, he says 99.9% of the activism is just brand maintenance, and that I've gone through the whole ideological spectrum in the past 5 years, only to land in, essentially, aliens are real and they're controlling society, and we need to protect the Earth. And the conversation develops when he starts to ask her about bees. Well, what do you like about bees? She says, I like bees because they don't have self-obsession, they've got good work ethic, they're not pious. She just admires the bees' resolve. She likes these bees who don't question, who think they have their freedom. There's no pious. They just work and work and work. They just do what they need to. And she starts to sort of turn institutions. It becomes an institution faith check, where Teddy, as himself an institution of personal research, has to contend with her, saying, hey, all of these problems that you have with me regarding bees and colony collapse disorder and pesticides killing bees, actually your research is out of date. Dawn doesn't really need to trust you anymore. There's other things that are causing CCD. She says sometimes a species just winds down. They understand the futility of the entire enterprise. And Teddy needs them to be dead bees. It's almost like the criticism of Hassan, the far left, where they need dead Palestinians in order to make content. And that may very well be true, but for the purposes of the movie, yeah, Ted does need... He still wants a grievance that is real against the aliens, even if it's coming from outside or it's not accurate. He needs a grievance. He needs the bees dead. And in the introduction of the movie, he's telling Dawn, don't apologize. He's explaining the conspiracy that's afflicting humanity, the conspiracy of obsolescence, the conspiracy of instrumentalization. He says to Dawn that they planned it so that we become like their bees, atomized and submitting to hierarchy. And the thing about Dawn saying, criticizing the mechanism, the process, railing against it, is he's atomized. He actually doesn't talk to his coworkers much at all. A cop stops by. Stavros makes a debut in the film as his literal dream role, a former pedophile, sex-abusing cop. I literally think Stavros' dream fucking film role was fulfilled in Bugonia. Just awesome. Everyone was cast perfectly. He doesn't even know his neighbors. The cop comes by to ask him, hey, have you seen this missing woman? Actually, the car was seen around your neighborhood not long ago. Do you have any information? Do you know if any of your neighbors have seen anything? And Teddy, despite complaining about how the aliens, the Andromedans, the conspiracy, the afflictors of the Great Conspiracy are atomizing humanity, he has never gone out of his way to go and talk to his neighbors. Let's go back to this nice dinner that they have, because it's the institutions that are at risk. She brings up his mother twice, and that's more than enough for him to get up off the table, ruin the dinner, scurry across it, and attack her while she's chained to the chair. Eventually she gets free, they run off, and she actually gets the upper hand. And while choking him out, she says, "You were a loser and I'm a winner. That's fucking life." That's sort of her guiding philosophy. As a CEO, she does genuinely buy into survival of the fittest at some level. That's life. Natural realism, I guess? Selective realism, maybe? Let's call it natural selection realism. Things happen because of the way that they were supposed to happen. They were always supposed to happen this way. I'm a winner because I'm a winner. Prosperity doctrine, essentially. She buys into it a little bit when fighting with Teddy. And Dawn, while Michelle is getting the better of Teddy, she's choking him out, saying verbatim the schizo ideology line. It's survival of the fittest, losers lose, and you're a loser. You've always been a loser. Dawn comes in with the stock of the shotgun, knocks her out cold, and they move on to a new scene. She's in the basement. Dawn is guarding her, and Teddy needs to entertain the cop who was his babysitter, maybe have touched him a couple of times. Teddy is trying to move beyond that. He's saying, the cop is trying to say, hey, Stavros' character, the cop, is coming in to say, hey, I'm really sorry for all the things that happened, you know. I really wish things would have gone a different way. I want to turn a new leaf. I don't want to be that kind of person anymore. I don't want to, and I assure you, as a cop, I've never, maybe it was a power thing, the things that I did to you when you were young, but I assure you that I've never done those things as a cop. Because that's totally why people become cops, right? We can give him the good faith because he's a fictional Stavros character. But Teddy wants to dismiss it. He's like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. We can just move on beyond it. But he just won't let some things go. He won't let his mother go. He won't let, quote unquote, the enslavement of humanity go. He wants revenge. He very actively talks to Dawn, saying everything is for a reason. We need to, like, take everything back. He is a reactionary in a very real way. It's about revenge. It's about setting things right. Okay. Is there anything else about this dinner? No, I think we're moving on. We're moving on to the suicide. We're moving on to Dawn's suicide. While Teddy is entertaining the cop upstairs and schizophrenically going, hey, yeah, you know, we just need to move on some things, while retaining some hatred in his heart for another thing, trying to disguise the blood that's in his basement because he lives in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Pennsylvania or something like that. They go out to the beehives. Dawn gets his only interaction with a character outside of Teddy being there. It's his first moment outside of the shadow of Teddy. And what does he do? He does a great job keeping track of her, but he wants to. I'm not. Hi Mina, hello, how's it going? I'm not in a beehive. They're just raging outside. They're dancing. They're going hog wild, you could say. We're doing media analysis of hierarchies. Yippee! That's why we're in a beehive, actually. Dawn expresses how unsatisfied he is with life. He's been depressed for a while to Michelle. And Michelle says, I think Michelle actually likes him. I think Michelle actually likes Dawn a lot. I think the Andromedan Queen looks at Dawn as probably one of the better progenitors of one of the better results of the human experiment. She says we can do anything. We can go all sorts of other things. There is a reason to live, to go places, to see things, to do things, to meet new people. And he's like, no, Teddy's all I have. I don't want to go anywhere without Teddy. I think Dawn was her last hope in humanity. Somebody docile, somebody chill, somebody just willing to go through the motions. But unfortunately, he'd been poisoned. And he couldn't deal with it. And he made Michelle, the Andromedan Queen, promise that she would take him and Teddy away into space before he shoots himself with the 12 gauge. Dawn was her last hope in humanity, and he was too depressed to actually deliver on it. She says, no one in the universe could blame you for the confusion Teddy put you through. And he says, Teddy is all I have. I don't want to find something else. There's so much. She tries to insist that there's so much more out there. But she also lies to Dawn about her identity, which is odd. I thought that was scandalous. None of the people I think in this movie were particularly good. But they had interesting spins on each of the archetypes, I would say. Relating to Oedipalization, agency. That's where the real meat of this comes in, I think. She insists that she can take him away. But he says, no thank you, not without Teddy, and shoots himself. And that's it. And then the shot goes off. Obviously something's wrong in the house. You can't just have a cop around when a bullet goes off in the basement. You gotta put him away. And so he kills Stavros. While he's killing Stavros, he comes back, sees Dawn dead, and in all honesty, he doesn't care too much. He blames her. He says, "You poisoned her. You poisoned Dawn with your womanly charms, your wily ways, your psionic Andromedan powers." And she says, "I know how to save your mom. You're gonna have to pick up the antifreeze in my car. Trust me, it's not antifreeze. Deliver it to your mom and she'll be healed, because actually, you were right. We are aliens. We have been doing this experiment on humanity." She says the 75th Emperor of Andromeda spread a virus onto the Earth, killing the dinosaurs. Primordial human civilization was in harmony with nature, and this is Atlantis and stuff like that. But then there was a mutation. War, genocide, ecocide, parasites, drug, and technology, all under the cruel and selfish whims of humanity, intending to accumulate, to waste, to harm. I think it's interesting that the alien thing to humanity is the cycle of... It's the general economy, essentially. It's the Baudrillard general economy. Hysteria. Gifts. People. Symbols. Sacrifice. But destructive. All of these, I think, are intrinsic. The movie poses these things as intrinsic to humanity. What's alien to humanity is a destructive perversion of these things that leads to ecocide, that leads to nihilism, resentment, reactionaryism. And she says, the best part is that this blame for all the ills of capitalism, essentially, what the Redditor Marxist of Free Guy would call the ills of capitalism, Bugonia treats it as something that's been infected into humanity. And the only way for that to be resolved, they find out at the end of the movie, Teddy kills his mother with the antifreeze. He fully Oedipalizes. It brings him to ruination. He's got nowhere else to go but to Andromeda. with the hopes of reviving Teddy, and he's got his trump card with him. He's got a bomb vest. And all up to the very final leading moments, everything is very innocuous. We still aren't sure if she is the actual alien. Diegetically, he is certain that she is an alien. She is certain that she's an alien bringing him to his ship. But something goes wrong and his vest explodes inside the teleporter. And it's never delivered upon. And I think with that gone, she's saved. Both like in the quotidian reality, she can get up and go to work like normal. But she actively goes back and tries to make contact with the Andromedan's ship. And she's like, all right, guys, what's the sit rep? Like, is humanity worth saving? Are we, like, should we keep bother doing this shit? Because I've just had a hell of an experience. The only human that I liked killed themselves in front of me. And because he was poisoned by his cousin into a conspiratorial blaming mindset that led him to not only butcher humans but also Andromedans. They look identical. One of the hardest lines in the film is what she breaks free after Teddy's death, after Don's death. Recommends she go and save his mother. Teddy runs off. While Teddy's run off, she finds a fake board documenting all of his research into Andromedons. There's feet, hands. It looks like something straight out of Hannibal Lecter out of Dexter's lab. Bodies yet to be decomposed, pickling body parts, and the hardest line of the movie, she indignantly, covered it in Don's blood, goes, how many were Andromedons? Meanwhile, Teddy's upset. You killed my you killed my mother. She's like, how many were Andromedons? You sick fucking freak. How many people did you actually kill? How many of them were actually Andromedons? And he's like, 2. 2 of all the pages. Essentially, it was a montage. He's a freak. He's actually the closest thing to a psycho. He's not a schizo. In reality, Teddy is the villain. He's correct about reality. He's correct that we should strive for freedom. There is an outside force that was, quote unquote, goy-cattling them. But the evils, the reason they were trying to be goy-cattled is to control the waste, the excesses, to try and do something better with it. He wants to do away with it all. Unconditional retreat for the Andromedans on the Earth. And the Andromedans get together on their spaceship. She's revealed to be the High Queen. She's like, all right, I've had a hell of a time. These humans are really something else, huh? How have the actual experiments been going? Have we been able to cure humans? And they're like, we got 2 humans. Maybe they're the same humans that he killed. Maybe it's just like a number that they chose. It's arbitrary. Who fucking knows? But they're like, all right, well, this doesn't seem to be working. So they just pull the plug on the entire human experiment at once by popping a bubble. Simultaneously, all humans on Earth die. And that's the ending of the film. It shows a rave, like a warehouse, corpses piled up everywhere, a Chinese sweatshop marketing the cutest, adorable plushies you've ever seen, a maritime ship, everybody's dead and strewn across the controls, a museum, a robotic dinosaur starts to walk. And there's an interesting relationship to dinosaurs in this movie, I think. Also plays to the reason I like this movie more than Free Guy. And it's not just because I'm a bird. And those are my cousins. I have to like them. I don't. Oh, this is a next. There's a classroom, a graveyard, where somebody's brought flowers, all the sweet, the sentimental, the submissive, the coerced, the making the best of it scenes a fish market, a buffet, a mosque, an operating room, an international business meeting with the businessmen slumped over. All of it just doesn't mean anything. A highway. In the middle of sex of a dormitory, we see corpses. In a sauna, a wedding. All of these symbols of accumulation, industrialization, are tied together with passion, amorally. It's not saying capitalism is good, capitalism is bad, humanity is good, humanity is evil. It's painting a fictionalized universe where Andromedons are real, aliens are real, conspiracy theories are correct about aliens controlling us. There actually is a virus inside humanity that's causing them to be sick, to cause, to be negligent, psychopathic, to abuse their environments, to abuse the people around them. But there's also the sweet, the sentimental, the submissive, love, passion, submission, suppression, exchange, waste, and prostheticization. There we go. Prostheticization, including technology, which is exactly this. The sort of externalization of humanity, replacements by greater and greater machines, by a greater economy of scale to deliver on the waste and excesses of greater and greater goods. What if we have a different relationship to it? No, it's impossible because humans are genetically disposed against it. That's the fiction of the movie. And I think that fiction of the movie is well contained and paints a nice mirror for us to reflect on in reality. That it's not true aliens control reality. We only have ourselves to blame. Yes, we can Teddy makes very important points regarding institutionalism, the accreditation of like degrees, because Michelle Fuller's like, I've got a degree in business and psychology. He's like, okay, these are just accreditation regimes in order to launder rich people clout. And he's right, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's not building a positive proglemma. There's no great plot undermining humanity coming from outside humanity. It's humanity. It's always been humanity. And if only we were a little bit more like the bees, cultivating and cross-pollinating, just making our honey on a keystone species instead of an abusive species. If we were more an NPC species like the bees, instead of a schizo species abusive towards the NPCs, then maybe we would be better off. So there's an interesting sort of a shift in the reference of what it means to be a psycho, what it means to be a schizo, what it means to be an NPC. An NPC, traditionally unappealing. No, ecologically, this has a better outcome. It's more sustainable. While Michelle is explaining the Andromedan plot to rescue humanity, she laments the destruction of a former dinosaur civilization which was very much so in tune with nature. They use sort of like, they don't really use liberal language like they were in equilibrium with nature, but the obvious thing is that there wasn't this abusive relationship between dinosaurs and their nature. They were the apex species, one among many, but they were in tune with the nature. And the interesting thing, I think the cool thing about Bugonia is that now that humans are gone, we're no longer grinding up the dinosaurs to power the destructive, the alien, to deliver on our psychopathic accumulation, our desire to compete, to destroy, not just compete, I guess, to operate in a mentality of parallel instead of complement, by difference as a means of identifying rather than a unity of a whole. So the humans are using and abusing the relics of the dinosaurs in order to destroy nature. It's like sacrificing the bones of dinosaurs in order to appease their destructive alien virus poisoning that's built into humanity. I think because Free Guy deliberately tries to breach the interface between fiction and reality, between the screen and reality, whatever our true experience of reality. Its criticism, its anti-capitalist criticism falls flat. Mostly because just because you understand that reality is orchestrated in a particular way, there's coercion, there's surplus value getting lost, you're not going to necessarily be able to do anything about it. Bugonia, I feel like, never tries to step outside the fiction of the screen. All of the attempts, it's consistent within the film. All of the attempts are within the film. We question whether or not Dawn believes she's genuinely an alien. We question if Ted genuinely believes she's an alien. And for the first part of the movie, pretty much here, I guess, it's not confirmed she's an alien. And there's also the best criticism of capitalism is Teddy's criticism of Michelle. Michelle's ecological mindset and criticism of Teddy, but she doesn't like stop lying. Multiple times to Dawn, she even says, "Actually, I am a human. But I am actually a CEO. I'll take you anywhere on Earth. Please believe me. I'm not actually an alien." Even though Teddy fully believes she's an alien, Dawn believes she's an alien. She's trying to say, "Hey, you know, I know things are rough, but I can't take you away from Earth because I'm not actually an alien." When she genuinely is an alien, she could take him away from Earth, and so he kills himself. Just awful. The criticism of Marxism that Free Guy attempts, or of capitalism that Free Guy attempts, is done in Bugonia between the interaction of these two characters. And the interaction between these two here, pretty much. Implicitly, the relationship between those two as well, I guess. But I think the best is when they had just captured her. They shave her head, and it's like weird. Why would you shave her hair? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, how aliens can't contact through hair. Actually, it turns out at the end of the movie, yes, these aliens do in fact contact their hair. And probably the best tell for it was immediately after being chained up, the first thing that she checks is her hair. That's the first clue that actually Teddy is correct. She is actually an alien. Even though she denies being an alien moments later. Her mentality is everything for a reason, everything for a use. I think that's a fine mentality to have individually, but if you want to have a systemic mindset, you got to have Teddy's mindset. You got to break your mind in between all three of these mindsets, actually. You need to be all three of these characters simultaneously. When she wakes up from having first been captured, she attempts all the same PMC tricks that she's used to in her job. She employs all the same tricks. Can we just talk it out? Can we have a discussion? Here we go. Let's just keep the discussion going. She's bought into the institutional... I guess maybe institutional Oedipalization is maybe it. That's the thing. That could be. But Teddy says, no, 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 no. You're just trying to do your wily, alien, feminine ways in order to convince us to let you go free. That's not going to happen. And he's essentially saying debate is dead. There's nothing that you can say that will convince me otherwise. The moment of action is now. You are not worth anything until you meet our demands. Talk is dead. And she's insisting, no, 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 talk isn't dead. Talk isn't dead. There's huge problems with you abducting me. There's huge problems with threatening me. It's worse than abducting a governor, pretty much. Because I'm not an alien, but I'm a CEO. She says literally, let's unpack your problems. Let's get to the bottom of it. And eventually she does at the dinner table discussion, which is why it's such a great point of contention. It's sort of, I guess, hinted at. It would be a great encounter to run D&D, to hint at a point of tension earlier on, and then deliver on it later, where Teddy realizes that he just abused and tortured the high-ranking alien who may now be holding a grudge against him. He's freaking the fuck out, hoping to make everything right. He should have taken that when she wanted to talk. But she also was not buying into his delusions that she was an alien. Teddy makes this insane line in the first night that they captured her to Dawn. He says, even if she's not an alien, meaning even he doubts whether or not his theories are true, she's a corporate agent. So the capitalist critiques line up so nicely with every critique that he's got vaguely of the system. It's epicentered specifically in the character of Michelle Fuller, which is cool. It feels like Free Guy doesn't have any criticism of the system. It's just people doing the system wrong is the lesson to take away from Free Guy. I think actually I got to pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss about these two movies. Yippee! You guys made it through. Shoot. I need to like write clearer or less hasty, like, I guess. So I guess Teddy has a moment of doubt whether or not she truly is an alien, and then he electrocutes her into all fucking hell, and he's wrong, apparently. Unlucky for Teddy. Unlucky, lucky for Teddy. Let's whoa. Let's do a quick review. I'm going to, oh, that certainly worked. The edges of reality are falling apart behind me, and we're gonna put that there, and then what we're going to grab is this, and then open that. Oh, there we go. Say goodbye to the bees. I will not be a drone. I will not be a worker drone. Whoa, what the fuck is going on? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. I thought studio mode. Where in the hell? Get the fucking bees out of here. Bro. Where is transform fit to screen? Is it done capturing? Are you fucking kidding me? Huh? Whoa, that ain't it. Bro. It's not fucking capturing my shit anymore. Oh, is it? That might be why. Do I need to move it up further? Are you kidding me? It's just gone? My fucking Photoshop is gone. Oh, maybe because there's no transparency. Is that what it is? I didn't fucking put transparency in these layers. You're fucking kidding me. This is a disaster. All right, we did our media analysis. Chat, that was the Sunday stream. It was short. I've got things to do. Also, I would like to say nobody came in to debate me, which means I'm wrong. Yet another week goes by where I'm just correct on everything. And it's so frustrating. It is really, really frustrating to have that happen, but what can you do? Alrighty, chat. I hope you enjoy your Saturday. We are going to be returning to gaming. We're going to be returning to AI yapping next stream. That's the plan. And I've also got I've got a hit piece I'm thinking through. I'm considering. More to come. No, that works. Are you fucking kidding me? What? I'm so done with OBS. I need to update OBS. I need to fix OBS. I think I'm also going to get the Stream FX set up. Every stream. Chat, is it true or is it not that you come by and the stream is better every single time? It's true. All right, have a good Saturday. I hope you guys have a good one. Have a good one, Caramel. I see you waving. Bye-bye. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Easter, too, by the way. Have a good night.